Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer finally officially dropped last night at 10 p.m. I was cozy in bed when it dropped, so I had to rush over to my phone and watch it. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Go and watch it. It already has over 22 million views in less than 10 hours on just the Sony YouTube page. It's got another 8 million on Marvel's page. This trailer is absolutely blowing up the internet right now, so you definitely want to watch this. There's a very good chance we're going to be getting an update for this in Marvel Future Fight. Now, this is obviously pretty far in the future speculation because we know the Shang-Chi update is coming soon, in maybe like a week and a half. That's sort of the very beginning of September, whereas this movie is slated for November release, which means we're probably going to have to see another update in between. So at earliest, we're probably going to see this 3 updates from now. 2 other updates are going to come first, including Shang-Chi, and then Spider-Man No Way Home. But what can we expect? Again, you should have already watched the trailer. There's obviously going to be spoilers for the trailer. I'm also going to be giving you my thoughts and speculation on what I saw. I'm not an Easter egg channel. I'm not the best and brightest and smartest of those people who do those trailer breakdowns. So hopefully you don't have those extremely high expectations for you, because I'm more of, I am a fan. Maybe I've leveled up a little bit more than a casual fan, but I'm certainly no comic historian or, emergency awesome or whatever those guys do, new rock stars, that they watch the video at -0.5 speed and they catch all the clues, including ones that don't even exist. So anyways, let's go ahead and take a look. I'm not gonna play the trailer sound and music and talking either. As awesome as it is, and it is really awesome, I don't want to risk any DMCA or anything like that. So we're gonna play it super safe here. I've got some skill preview music going on in the background, so we're just gonna do that. So we see Doctor Strange with a brand new look right off the bat, and he's doing some crazy stuff with some subway cars. Anyways, so whatever, we get this intro. I'm not gonna give you guys the play-by-play of the entire trailer, because just watch it and you'll get a much better experience than me talking over the muted images. It's really cool. I really like the trailer. We see J. Jonah Jameson. We see that awesome. This is one of my favorite classic images of Spider-Man from not only the comics but the TV shows as well, where and I think I had a toy where his face was half Spider-Man, half Peter Parker. It's just so cool. Or I think I had one where his face changed. I can't remember. Anywho, it was really dope. A lot of people are blowing it up. Okay, I will say this. A lot of people are blowing it up during this interrogation scene, saying that there's a possibility that this is Charlie Cox, aka the actor who plays Matt Murdock, which is obviously Daredevil. No idea here. I couldn't see anything. I combed through Twitter looking for stuff. There's really very little substantiating it, aside from the fact that he's wearing a white shirt and a dark tie, which is basically the attire of half of all lawyers in New York City and prosecutors. So I don't really think there's much to that, but I thought it was funny that people were really excited about that, because it would be dope to have that many people in the movie. We know the movie's already jam-packed with actors. If you've been following the spoilers, if you've been following the announcements, if you've been following the interviews and the hints and the clues, you have a pretty good idea of the cast of this movie. Now, one thing I want to point out here, and we'll save this for later, okay? Just save this for later. It says here, Devil in Disguise, right? It says here, Devil in Disguise. And of course, they're talking about Spider-Man. They're also blaming Spider-Man for the death of Mysterio at the end of the last movie. So they're basically saying that he's a murderer and he was disguised as like this charming, nice guy, Peter Parker, but really he's this evil, murderous Spider-Man. And obviously J. Jonah Jameson is doing his best to villainize Spider-Man, and some people are just going to take to that theme and run with it. However, I want to point out that they're going with one of my speculations, which I've actually seen a lot this morning on Twitter, so it's not going to seem as new to you guys if you've already been reading those, but I promise you I had this idea last night at 10 p.m. I'm not taking credit for the idea. I'm just saying I had this idea before I saw other people talking about it and presenting that idea, that there is another devil who is in disguise, and it's not Ned. Okay, so keep in mind there's going to be another, in my opinion, there's possibly another devil who is in disguise as another character. We get this sort of classic MJ on the bridge storyline with Green Goblin, and, you know, bad stuff happening there. Obviously he's, you know, having a bad time here, and then things are going to start to get real serious as the trailer sort of picks up. Though you see black cats here in the background because I guess it's Halloween, and then we see this Halloween lantern thing, which is obviously cluing into Doctor Strange, because that's where he goes next. He goes to the Sanctum Sanctorum, and it's winter there for whatever reason. We got this random dude shoveling. Shout out to whoever got that job. That's awesome. I would love to be the extra in a Marvel movie shoveling snow for Doctor Strange. Call me up, Marvel. Anywho, so this part here, okay, you know because you've seen it. So he lights the fire, okay, and he wants him to call him something other than Doctor Strange, which is strange, right? We get this little glimpse of Black Spider-Man running around, not Miles Morales, and bad joke. And then he helps Spider-Man, right? So here's what I think. So Wong warns him, okay? Wong warns him, and it's like the easiest brush off in existence. And then he winks, and then he takes Peter down, and he does this whole thing. Now, I understand that there is a comic run, last day, or like one more day comic run, where something very similar to this happens with Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, and Spider-Man basically asks Doctor Strange to cast a spell, to, you know, do something, right? Play with people's memory, whatever. Obviously, the spell doesn't go right because we see them exposed to the time stream. This very well could be the same background that we saw at the end of Loki, right? Where we see the timeline splitting apart, and you see the lights and stuff like that. And this also calls back to Doctor Strange 1, when the very first time the Ancient One taps into Doctor Strange's astral form and sends him on that journey. He, at one point, it seems like he's flying through the timelines because he's going through this sort of Bifrost-looking light source. Okay, so they screw up the timeline. Here's my thought. And they get sent into another universe, or the universes are colliding. It looks very Marvel Future Revolution to me. This is not Doctor Strange. This is my theory. This is not Doctor Strange. This is Mephisto. And again, you've probably already heard this if you've been looking for other theories, but this is Mephisto. And I think it's Mephisto for multiple reasons. One, he starts the fire. Again, it can be completely meaningless, but the fact that he does it during the movie, right? The fact that Peter doesn't walk in and the fire's already lit, the fact that he lights the fire is a pretty good sort of framing reference for Doctor Strange creating fire. Who else creates fire? Mephisto. And Mephisto, on this Earth, I'm more or less sure that he can't help Peter, or he can't sort of get involved unless Peter asks him to help him. Right? Mephisto's not going to do something for you unless you ask him to do it for you. And then there's sort of, it's like the monkey's paw. There's ramifications based on what you're asking him to do. And obviously what you want to happen is not going to be the end result that actually ends up happening, right? You wish for infinite money, but then the way that manifests itself actually has a ton of drawbacks that make it worse than before you even asked for help in the first place. So yeah, things obviously take a nosedive for Peter and for his universe after he asks Doctor Strange for help. And it's very unlike Doctor Strange to take these risks on such a global level. Now, obviously, Doctor Strange, in my opinion, is used to taking risks for himself. And we even see in the first Doctor Strange movie, he disobeys Ancient One, Wong, and Mordo's instruction and rules time and time again. They tell him not to touch the Book of Cagliostro. They tell him not to do this. They tell him not to do that. And he's like, nah, screw it. I'm going to do whatever I want because I'm Doctor Strange. But when it comes to destroying, like potentially destroying the timeline or messing with time, and he doesn't even have the time stone anymore, right? So this is extremely, this is after Endgame. This is extremely out of character for him, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, obviously, but at this point, we've heard so many Mephisto theories in WandaVision, in Loki, in Falcon Winter Soldier. We're fine with another one. So yeah, I personally do think it is Mephisto, which makes sense in a lot of ways the way I explained it. He's the devil in disguise kind of thing. That's also why he takes on a different look when he transfers. Perhaps Mephisto has possessed his body at this point, and so he manifests himself with a different look here, and you know, different outfit, different costume. You know, the context aside, they could be battling here, right? Like, we don't really know what's going on, and Marvel is so good at cutting their trailers to make it look like certain things are happening when actually other things are happening. Shout out to the Daily Bugle here. A lot of people are also saying that this confirms both Electro with the lightning and Sandman with the sandstorm. That's definitely possible, but in my opinion, we don't really get a clear look at any of the Sinister Six villains aside from 3. And I'll point out the ones that I think it's happening to, and that cube looks really, really cool. Anyways, there's an astral projection part there. We get the old Iron Spider-Man there. Right there, I've seen a lot of people talking about that being Lizard. So perhaps that's like a research facility where Dr. Connors lost his marbles. But right there's something in the dark that tries to attack Peter from behind, and it gets blocked by by some sort of magical barrier. So people think that is Lizard. There's a possibility that it could be someone else, because, well, I don't know. I was gonna say Peter doesn't really react until the punch is already thrown, so his spider sense doesn't seem to be triggered, which could indicate Venom, but I don't think they're putting Venom in this movie just yet. But maybe, we don't know. So yeah, that's somebody. And then again, here we do see Spider-Man, we do see lightning, and we do see what looks like sand. So this could definitely be Sandman and Electro, although I don't really see anyone else in the frames, but I haven't gone sort of step by step. Obviously, that's Green Goblin, and you hear the audio and he laughs and whatever, which is awesome. And then obviously you get the other big reveal, which is Dr. Octopus. So for sure, Dr. Octopus and hello, Peter. That's so dope. That was so dope. For sure, Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus, probably Lizard, and then who knows, right? Electro, Sandman, yeah, it's definitely possible. That would still only equal 5. We've had a lot of rumors about what's his name, who plays Vulture, also being in this movie briefly, so perhaps it's going to be Vulture, perhaps it's going to be someone else. We have to wait and see. This is also really cool. He jumps into the costume right away. And that's basically it. So the ramifications, the sort of, there's really nothing else. There's like a PS5 controller ad. But yeah, the implications for Marvel Future Fight are pretty awesome. Obviously, this movie's gonna be amazing. Obviously, I'm gonna go watch this movie 1, 2, 3 times. But the awesome thing, the really awesome thing about Marvel Future Fight is that we know when we do get an MCU themed movie, or when we update from a movie, or when we get an update from a movie, even if it's Sony, that it's going to be big, right? We got Spider-Man, you know, Far From Home. For Homecoming, they added, on top of the movie, they added all of those Sinister Six characters like Kraven, even when they weren't in the movie. We got Vulture plus his uniform, so he got 2 looks. He got his base Vulture look and the movie look, right? So despite the fact that it's not owned entirely by Marvel, obviously like Sony Pictures, whatever, they still do a really good job, and they still give us a really big, robust update when it comes to Spider-Man stuff, because obviously they know Spider-Man sells. So there's a pretty good chance Dr. Octopus is already transcended, right? But we could finally be seeing, so a uniform for Dr. Octopus, a new uniform for Green Goblin, because he's going to look more like the Willem Dafoe Green Goblin based on the bomb, right? So a new uniform for Dr. Octopus, a new uniform for Green Goblin, and possibly a tier 3 or a Transcendence, which personally is a big one for me, because his current suit obviously is not Green Goblin. And it was frustrating because he's one of the only characters in the last year that has gotten a uniform without getting another type of upgrade. And we sort of harped on that we shouldn't really see these characters anymore, that if you're gonna get a uniform at this point, at this late in the game, that you should also get a Transcendence or a tier 3. He didn't get either. And this is not really the Green Goblin, right? I mean, it is Osborn, but it's not Green Goblin. So a brand new Green Goblin would be so dope, right? Like a new speed villain, who's really strong in tier 3 or trend set. It would be so cool. But then that still leaves the doors open for so many others, right? We could see Mysterio return, and he has his outfit already, so he could just get an upgrade with a Transcendence or a tier 3 and a solid stat bump. You could also see, based on some of the Lego advertising, people have said that Scorpion is also a possibility. I don't know where Scorpion is here for me, but Scorpion is a possibility as a character to show up in the movie as well. Electro on top of that, right? We get the Jamie Foxx Electro, which would be super duper cool. There's a lot of possibilities here for this update. And a lot of these characters, Dr. Octopus to a lesser extent, but definitely Green Goblin, definitely Electro, definitely Lizard, and definitely Sandman are pretty bad. Scorpion's actually pretty strong by comparison, but everybody else is pretty bad and could definitely use an upgrade. So there's a huge possibility for a wave of villain upgrades related to Spider-Man, which I'm all here for. I'm very, very excited for that. And then, of course, we have the possibility of maybe another Doctor Strange uniform, which is, I don't think it's out of the question, right? As cool as the spacesuit is, maybe he gets another upgrade. And then for sure, we're getting at least one uniform for Spider-Man, possibly two. The thing is, though, they're probably not gonna redo this uniform, right? We're definitely gonna get that black uniform that we see sort of midway when he's in the cafeteria. This one right here. We're probably definitely gonna see this one. So that'll be at least one of his uniforms. And that was really cool, black and gold. But we've already gotten this uniform, right? That one's a repeat from Far From Home. And then this one here is also pretty, that's still Far From Home. And then this one is still pretty much a redo of this one right here. Of the Infinity War. I'm so bad at navigating this. Yeah, this is basically, yeah, it's basically the same, right? That looks so cool though. Dang. So it'll be a little bit tricky to see. I don't think they're gonna redo this uniform. I don't think they're going to redo this uniform. So we'll have at least one, possibly two. We'll have to see what happens. Maybe he gets another uniform that they're hiding at the end of the movie. But the other really cool thing that I want to say is there's a possibility that almost all of this trailer is just the first act of the movie. Marvel is known to do this, where you think that they're showing you the whole movie, but really, for like the way they've edited it and the way they've assembled it, it really only touches on the first hour of the movie, maybe. And this movie's almost 3 hours long. This is a 2 hour and 55 minute runtime movie. So I don't know how that sounds weird, but anyways, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm very, very excited. I'm very, very, very excited. So that's all that I have to say about the trailer. I'm gonna go and watch it a few dozen more times, but hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your best or favorite Easter egg of this trailer was or is. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Take care.